Hey guys, my name is Semtex and welcome to my first graphic design video. Since this is my first design video, I would like to mention that this channel is going to be completely designer based. I'm going to be uploading tutorials, tips and tricks, top 5s and more. With that out of the way, I would also like to mention that in today's video, this is going to be a full tutorial from start to finish showing you guys how to make a Modern Warfare thumbnail. That does not mean that this tutorial can only be used for Modern Warfare thumbnails. You can also use this for any other kind of Call of Duty. You can use this for Black Ops 4 templates, for Modern Warfare Remastered templates, anything like that. And in the description, I have provided a free file at 0 likes. You don't have to like the video at all for this. Go ahead and download this in the description. It's going to be a free file for you guys to download, which includes everything you're going to need to make the thumbnail in today's video. So go ahead and download that and you can hop right into this video. Alright guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this thumbnail you do see on screen. So to begin off, I'm just going to go ahead and hit File, New, and you're going to go ahead and create a new 1920 by 1080 300 resolution document. And in the description below, as I have mentioned, there's going to be an assets pack which only has 4 layers here. So what you're going to go ahead and do is open up this little pack here, and you're just going to go ahead and copy paste everything into your new document. Now, if you're making your own thumbnail and you're just basing it off this video, you're not really going to do this. You're not going to have the Modern Warfare logo. You're not going to have the character. But what I would recommend is using the CC that I have provided in the background image. This is what I use for all of my thumbnails. This is just for a suggestion, guys. This is how to make the thumbnail you do see on screen right now. So with that being said, just go ahead and duplicate everything you do see in the assets pack below and just put it into here and hide the character and the Modern Warfare logo, because I'm actually going to be starting off with the text. So you're going to go ahead and create your text, and I'm going to name it template. Go ahead and name it whatever you guys would like. Make your text over here and make it as big as you like. I usually do it around about this size, and then I go ahead and I duplicate this layer, and I want to make sure that they're both under this CC layer here. You want to make sure everything is under the CC, nothing is going to be above it. And once you duplicate this text, go ahead and make sure it's on the bottom of the original and it's aligned perfectly. You don't want to have any off-putting text because it's going to look weird with the stroke and everything else you're adding. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the top text, and you want to go ahead and double click it, go to stroke, and you're going to go ahead and add a stroke. You're going to make sure the fill type is on color. We're going to go back to the gradient later, and you want to make sure your color is pretty dark. It doesn't have to be too dark. And you're going to go ahead and add an inner shadow. Now your inner shadow is going to be barely visible here, and it's going to have a distance of approximately 11. Kind of play with this, have it less or more if you like. And I also forgot to mention that your stroke, your size needs to be 18 and your opacity needs to be 100. You also want to have your position on outside, not inside, and then your blend mode is going to be normal. With that being said, you're also going to go ahead and add a color overlay. This is just going to be white. You just want to have this for later on. So with that being said, you want to go ahead and move on to the drop shadow. The drop shadow is actually one of the main parts in today's tutorial. This is how you make your text look 3D, and it really does pop out with a big drop shadow like this. If you would like to just copy my settings, I have a distance of 21, spread of 100, a size of 16, and opacity of 100. But what I usually like to follow as a rule here is have your distance approximately like this. It's kind of just an eye game here. I don't really have an actual specific pixel distance or anything like that. You want to make sure your angle is on 90. I didn't mean to do that. And your spread wants to be around 100, because if it's like this, it's not going to look 3D at all. Once you're done with that, go ahead and click OK. Go ahead and right click, copy layer style. And then remember that text layer that I told you guys to duplicate at the start? Well, here it is. It's template copy, and it, as you can see, it has no layer styles at all. What you're going to do is go ahead and right click it, click paste layer style, and you're going to go ahead and double click it. Once you do this, you're simply changing the stroke from being a color to a gradient. I already have a preset gradient, but all you really want to do is have a really dark red on the far right, and then you want to have a really nice bright orange on the left. You can make it like whatever you'd like here. Just make sure it's a really nice orange. And now, as you see, there's this little square diamond thing at the bottom here. This essentially changes where your gradient is going to be, if that makes any sense. The farther you have it to the left, the more orange you're going to see. The farther you have it to the right, the more red you're going to see. So what I like to do is keep this around mostly to the orange side, because this makes it blend perfectly. Once you go ahead and do that, click OK, and then you're going to want to have both of your layers grouped. And once you have that, you want to label it text, just because it might get a bit complicated. What I also like to do is name the text layers 1 and 2. So 2 will be the bottom one, even though it's on top. With with that being said, you want to go ahead and double click on the group layer so that you get into the layer styles for the text group. Now that's the group, not each layer individually. That's the whole group with both layers in them. You want to go ahead and click drop shadow once again, but now you want to go ahead and eliminate the spread and you want to turn down the opacity. With that being said, you also want to have the size a bit bigger. It doesn't really matter. Just don't have it this big, don't have it too small, or else it's not going to look any good. You want to find your medium so that you can tell that the drop shadow is still kind of highlighting the text, if that makes any sense. That's all you really want to do for drop shadow. So moving on to outer glow. This is actually pretty important to make your text pop a lot more. As you can see, this is literally just an orange color outer glow on your grouped text. At the start of the video, remember how I said to go ahead and duplicate all the assets? Well, that includes the character that I actually have included with the assets pack. You want to go ahead and make sure that this guy is a bit bigger, but you want to make sure he's not too small, just like that. So once you're done with that, you want to go ahead and double click on this layer. You want to go ahead and go to drop shadow, and I already have a preset one, but this is essentially a low opacity drop shadow with a bit of a distance. You want to have no spread. You want to have your opacity pretty low, and you want to have your size to around about 32. Go ahead and click OK. So once you are actually done that, we're going to go ahead and add an emoji. You want to make sure that this is sized so that from a far away distance, you're actually going to still see it. From a close-up distance, it doesn't cover too much and it's perfectly sized here. Before I do anything with this, I'm going to go ahead and click adjustments over here, brightness and contrast. Then I'm going to right click and hit create clipping mask. Now I'm going to make sure the brightness is a bit less on the emoji. See, it changes it drastically. Now that's just because my CC, my color corrections over here, make the emoji really bright, and you really want to just fix that just by, countering it with your own brightness on this specific layer. So once you have it how you like, you want to go ahead and double click the emoji layer. What I'm going to do is essentially copy paste the layer styles from the character so that it's the exact same. So I'm going to right click, hit copy layer style, and then right click the emoji, hit paste layer style. Once I do that, as you can tell, the emoji is actually glowing. So what I'm going to do is click the text layer. I'm going to make sure that the outer glow is default. So what you want to do is go into the layer styles of the text, the grouped text I should specify. As you can see, there's an outer glow. You want to hit make default. So once you do that, you want to go back to the emoji, you want to double click, and you want to hit outer glow. Once you do that, it'll be the exact same thing as the text and it'll glow a bit. The next step is actually going to be adding this arrow. So the arrow really doesn't matter. All you want to do is go to Google and type in arrow PNG and then save whichever arrow you would actually like. What I'm going to do is have the arrow underneath the emoji, and it should be above the character itself though. So with that being said, you want to make sure that the Modern Warfare logo is on the full bottom besides the background image. You want to make sure your character is underneath your emoji, and then you want to make sure your arrow is above your character, if that makes any sense at all. Now obviously this is going to be quite different from the template I actually have made here because it's not the exact same, and I'm not going to be able to make it the exact same. This is just for tutorial purposes and just to show you guys what this actually could look like. So you want to sort of readjust your arrow. What I like to do is have it so it takes up the space but it doesn't take up too much. With that being said, you also want to flip it vertically. So once you have this arrow set in place, what I'm going to do now is go ahead and double click, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into stroke. I'm going to go ahead and make the stroke white, but I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger so it stands out as much as possible. And then you're going to go ahead and go into drop shadow, and the spread is going to be 100. You're going to make the distance far away from the arrow, just like the top text. So with that being said, what else I'm going to do is go ahead and hit Control G while I have the arrow selected. I'm going to double click the group, almost like I'm doing with the text, and then you're going to go ahead and copy paste the text group layer style, if that makes any sense, and you're going to go ahead and paste it onto the arrow. But then you're going to remove the outer glow because I personally don't like the outer glow on the arrow. As you can see, there's these little white sort of diagonal lines that are coming in here, and these are really easy to make. You can use the pen tool, and all you have to do is essentially just create a new layer, create some diagonal things, and then right click, hit fill path, and then boom, want to make this white. There's also a really easy method to doing this without the pen tool. You can also use polygonal lasso tool. Want to go ahead and click over here and then click here, and essentially just make yourself some diagonal lines. Now I'm not going to do that just for the demonstration purposes of today's tutorial, but you're going to want to go ahead and make as many of those lines as you possibly can. So yeah, with that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy today's tutorial. I'm sorry if I'm really bad at this. My first tutorial, my first design video really ever, and any pointers or any tips is really appreciated. So throw those in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Quickly before the video ends, I would also like to mention that you should go follow me on Twitter, because that's where I tweet out all my videos, all of my funny tweets, my designs, anything like that. Any announcements I have will be tweeted out on there. And if you'd like to see all of my advertisements and some of my designs all in one collection, you can go ahead and check out my Instagram, and I also have a portfolio. If you'd like to check out all of this, I will link it on screen and in the description down below. With that being said, guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.